Hello, hi, assalamu alaikum, namaste, sayonara. What would I say sayonara? What do I say?
Sayonara is goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay, what do I say? Hello, arigato. That's thank you.
Arigato is, I think, thank you.
Japanese? Yeah. Okay, hi guys. Getting feedback from everybody. How are you? This is Mavish Jaz. You're watching me on my YouTube channel on the Expat Story and listening to me on Spotify. And the reason why this beginning is so informal is because I'm with one of my favorite people in the UAE, Althea Delmas Kaushal. Hi, Althea.
Hi,
And
Mavish.
as you know, this is a video interview.
I know that now.
You know that. For those of you who watched our previous conversations, Althea was completely unaware that this is a video podcast.
She said podcast. And for me, podcast was audio.
It's video. Anyway, so Althea Delmas Kaushal is one of those very people who have that disarming sort of a charm. You don't know how well accomplished she is because when you sit with her and you talk to her, she's just like this bestie you've known for like a longest time ever. That's my first interaction with her.
Yeah.
I came back home raving about her to my husband. I'm like, I feel like I've known this woman all my life, even though nothing of our lives in the past has ever been connected. Althea is a writer. She's a very accomplished writer. She wrote Shah Rukh Khan's Happy New Year. I know you must have seen that. She has written a bunch of amazing web series such as Mithya, bestseller, and an upcoming Netflix movie called Ikka starring Sunny Deol and Akshay Khanna. She's been expat in Dubai for how long?
14 years now.
Oh, wow. So she's a proper veteran. She and I have sat down today to talk about what lives of expats are like, the misconceptions, the good, the not so good, maybe, or some of the misconceptions that people have, some actual realities, how that transition was. Should people move to Dubai? What is happening? So many people are already moving to Dubai. I think we should invite more people in. But thank you, Althea, for giving me your time.
Very welcome.
So,
Anytime.
So tell me, Althea, your expat story. How did it all begin? Your kids are quite old now.
Yeah. So I have two girls. My older one is studying in uni, so she doesn't live with us anymore. The younger one is on her way to uni, so she'll be going in September. So empty nesters very, very quickly. But the move to Dubai happened because my husband's with Emirates.
Okay.
So Emirates, as everyone knows or may not know, if you don't, you'll know now, has only one base in the world. So if you work for Emirates, in the flying part of it I'm talking about, you will be based in the UAE, Dubai specifically. So when I actually came to Dubai, I had never been.
Okay.
Never.
So you came straight from India to
I
here.
wrote Happy New Year based in Dubai without having ever set foot in this country. I did it from the net. I googled the Atlantis Hotel and from the net, from Google, from Atlantis's page, and wrote it. So when I came here, I saw Atlantis for the first time only when I came here. But it intimidated the hell out of me when I came here. It really did. Because you come out of that airport, which is in itself like stunning.
Stunning. Work of art.
Stunning.
So futuristic.
And then you leave from the airport on roads that are like Malai.
Yeah.
Please know I come from Bombay. Our airport road disappears in 700 meters. It's over. Okay, the road is over. Then after that, it's, enjoy yourself. Right? It's full physiotherapy all the way home. No, but it is. Really. We have terrible roads. So we don't have that many road accidents because you're going at no great speed at all.
Okay, and then you came here and the roads are
And
like
then I ran from Sheikh Zayed Road.
Sheikh Zayed
And
Road.
I'm like, oh my God.
What year is this?
I'm dyslexic, so wait a second, okay? Now, I cannot tell you the year, but I can tell you maybe about 14 years. 14,
So that's
15
like
years.
2010,
Somewhere
12,
there.
11,
Yeah,
12.
in that area.
Okay.
So Sheikh Zayed.
So the reason I'm asking is that by that time, Sheikh Zayed was Sheikh
yeah,
Zayed.
yeah, proper Sheikh Zayed.
And then Hessa and Mumsqaim were all there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so that was my first thing. So it really that intimidated me. The size of the house we were given to live in by Emirates also intimidated me. I felt I was echoing in this space. Come from Bombay, 2-bedroom apartments.
Bombay is like small apartment
small,
culture. Yeah,
tiny.
yeah.
So this was a bit alarming. In Bombay, I had 2-3 plants, which I used to call my garden. Looked more like death row, but never mind. Now the proper garden, like trees, the grass. So it was a bit like much for me. No home deliveries at that time. I mean, nothing was being delivered. Insta Shop and all wasn't there. So
Yeah, instead of during COVID, I
as
think.
a Bombayite, where you can get a car delivered to your house.
A car.
A car. You
An
can buy a
actual
car on a phone and the car will come. You can get your bank account open from your house because you're too lazy to go to the bank. No problem. Bank will come to you with the forms and everything.
Really?
Yeah, so it's, Bombay is used to that culture of everything gets delivered. Everything. There's no minimum order, nothing. You can order a matchbox. You can order a car.
A cigarette.
Yeah. You can do what you like on the and any time of the day and night. So this was a big thing that you had to actually go out and shop. So first thing I did was buy a cycle. So there's me and my cycle.
And you don't drive.
I don't drive.
Yeah, you don't
So
drive.
me and my cycle, now the amount of shopping I'm doing.
Me and my...
Yeah. I can no longer cycle back. Itna quad strength nahi hai. So cycle is the gadda.
Gadda.
Everything loaded. And I'm pushing cycle. That was my life for a long time.
I wish I had a picture of this to show you
God,
guys. Oh my
horrible.
God.
Horrible. But that was my, I had to get used to that, that part. I think most people don't realize, when you talk about Bombay or even Karachi, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They talk about India, Pakistan, like third world countries. They have no clue, really. Like literally the way we've lived, I think it would be
Like
very
kings.
appalling. Yeah, like kings. And I'm talking about average middle class people.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about wealthy people.
Yeah, they're living some other kind of life. Yeah.
Average middle class people, like, we'll have house help.
Yeah.
It's normal for us.
It's normal.
Our house help will have house help.
Yeah.
It's normal for her as well.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the world, it's a bit like what?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a TikTok of a woman who was like, again, not a South Asian woman. She was a white woman, and she had made this TikTok saying that I am having trouble adjusting to the idea of house help. I don't know how to handle them because I've never had them.
Yeah.
And I've grown up around house help, and I'm not any rich person by any measure in Pakistan. So for me now, I just I find it very funny that, and one thing which I also wanted to talk to you about is that living in the Middle East sometimes allows you, the same way I think that the comparison is when you compare the rest of the world to the Middle East, and you have like the Pakistan and India and all of these places to the Middle East. So I feel like one thing which people think that, we live very lavish lives here, and there is a grind here as well.
Everybody's working for the same things. Roti, kapda,
The goal,
makan. Roti, kapda, makan.
Makan, yeah.
That is that everybody in the world is working
Everybody
for that,
in the
right?
world, yeah.
In Dubai, you work really hard. I think the benefit, the positive with Dubai is that you're getting what you work for. Nothing is getting cut. You work for your money. You get your money legitimately, legally. The civil services the government provides as a result of that is so fantastic that your quality of life just seems to the outside world look amazing. But you're working for your money. Make no mistake about it. It's not coming free. It's not growing on your trees.
Yeah.
At all.
No free lunches.
At all.
Yeah. It all comes at a price.
You're getting what you work for. That's the big benefit.
Yeah. Because I think that a lot of the people who think that Middle East people are spoiled, and I don't think that's true, because I've seen such hard-working people here. The grind that they go through, from morning to noon to night.
But honestly, Mehwish, I feel that you'll find the exact same person in Pakistan.
Or in India or in America or Australia.
The reason why it looks good here is exactly as I said. Living in Dubai, what you work for, you get paid for. Nothing is being siphoned off. So you feel that there's value. So you're putting in the same amount of work. Also, something as simple as in Bombay, where I live in Santa Cruz. If you had to, where I used to work in Disney, was all the way in Worli, which is as a crow flies, not far, but Bombay style traffic, 2 hours one way minimum. So at the end of the day, getting into work is a nightmare. Coming back, you're exhausted. The roads are, it's so congested that when you get home, and if you have a plan in the night, you don't want to do it. You cannot imagine getting out again. But yahan pe, you come home, you're not. you haven't battled to come home. You haven't
Yeah.
battled anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So-
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That the kind of comfort that allows you is not a comfort that, oh, we're just sitting and things are just happening.
No.
It's the comfort you worked for and you've gotten.
Yes.
That's a really, really good point. Althea, continue telling me about the expat story. So you're here, you're in the bicycle, and what used to happen in the summer then? The summer here is crazy.
Right. So
I can sense a great story coming in.
no. Summer was very the same because summer we tended the whole of summer, in the beginning at least, we tended to eat what was in the house. There was no like, let's have pasta. Okay, great. Oh, there's no pasta. I'll just go out and get it. No.
No, yeah.
Nahi hai to nahi hai. Bus. We have to wait for when Siddharth's in town, that's my husband, who drives
To do the groceries.
Yeah, to do the groceries because not do the groceries.
No.
To drive me to do the groceries.
Okay,
Yeah.
team effort.
Yeah. But because otherwise, I mean, in the middle of the summer, I won't come out at all.
Because you're driving a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riding.
Riding a bicycle, driving a bicycle, and riding a bicycle. Acha, Althea, then what happened? Because you're somebody who works in India a lot like me. I work
Yeah.
in Pakistan a lot as well. And another thing which we were just talking about is, and I want to also tell the world that something which expats in the Middle East also have a benefit of is that we're very close to home.
Very close.
Yeah.
It takes less time for me to get to Bombay than it takes for me to get from Bombay airport to my house. Less time there and far more comfortable. Literally far more
Because you're
comfortable.
flying business class. But I'm amazed at Karachi is even shorter, by the way. Karachi is not even 90 minutes.
Karachi is so. I see it every time when I'm going
You're
home.
going-
I'm like, man, it's right here.
Yeah,
Right?
drop Mevish off there.
Correct.
Yeah. Karachi is amazing.
But then once you get to the airport, and then from that point is when the struggle really starts.
Oh my God, Karachi airport. Okay, so Karachi airport at one time was the best airport in Pakistan. Now it's the worst.
But PIA, if you study the history of this airline,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. It has helped establish Emirates. EK is literally
Unbelievable.
Emirates to Karachi.
Yes.
Yeah.
EK, that's what it means.
Yeah. But then it's so sad when you look at Karachi airport and there are actual memes on Instagram.
I love your Pakistani memes. The funniest. I mean, that sense of humor that comes from real deprivation.
Oh my
It
God.
comes from that just
It's
like, okay,
just
now I can do
self-deprecation.
nothing else but laugh.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't make fun of me, babe. I'll make fun of me.
But you know, I
myself.
saw the most amazing thing with this guy, this Pakistani journalist. He walked up to strange people and he said, I'll give you, I think it was 10,000 rupees, a large amount of money, to an average guy on the road to do one task. Will you do it? He said, yes. You know the task I'm talking
No.
about? He gave him the Indian flag, paper flag.
Oh,
and he said, burn it.
Ah.
Not one person took it up for that 10,000.
Nobody
And
will
the
do
guy
it.
kept arguing with the guys and
Yeah.
saying, dude, it's only paper. It's not the real flag. He said,
Yeah.
nahin.
There's also another viral clip of the
That
same.
was,
I think
thought
same.
that was amazing.
No, there's another same. I don't know. I haven't seen this one, but there's another one where the guy goes up to another one and says, another random guy, and says that stomp on this flag. So he's like, I won't do it.
Can't do it.
He's like, why not? He's like, because it's somebody's country's flag. Why would I do that? And I found that, and I think that as Pakistanis, and I want to talk to you about that as well, that I love the fact that ICCA is this hardcore Bollywood,
Yeah.
pure Bollywood,
Pure
legal
Bollywood.
drama.
That's- yeah.
This is what I love about Bollywood.
Yeah.
This is like, and you
We are
know
not,
me,
it's
I've
not a political thing, which is the
Please.
flavor of the season. No.
the less said about it,
There
the
is
better.
no Janab in this whole thing. That I will guarantee you.
And reason enough for me to watch it.
I'm suspecting there's no Janab in Karachi either.
No, there's no Janab.
Yeah,
I
but-
only say Janab when I'm being extremely sarcastic. Extremely sarcastic. Like whenever I'm saying Janab, I'm so mindful that I'm saying Janab because I've heard it so much in Bollywood. And then even the other person now knows that, oh, now she's saying Janab. Oh, it's over. Because now she's being sarcastic. Like, for example, if somebody, like even my husband, if he's not doing it, like, Janab, ye kar dijiye aap. So that means that she's...
Yeah, be very
TikTok.
careful
Be
now,
very careful. It's a landmine out
Yeah.
there. So what I love about ICCA, so tell me about ICCA, that what is this about?
It's a courtroom film. I can't tell you any much more than this.
Okay.
The cast announcement, which I'm sure you saw.
Sunny Deol and Akshay Khanna.
Akshay.
Looking amazing.
Yeah. And truly, I knew Sunny Deol. One thing I'll tell you about him, okay? His skin. My God.
Are you serious? He's quite
Like
old, isn't he?
butter.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Oh my
And you know,
God.
I think he's actually also a very shy guy.
Hmm.
He's very quiet, very, shanti. But that skin, you can't, you're watching him, you're
Punjabi
like,
skin.
wow, wow, wow.
And even Dharmendra in his last
Yeah.
days was still looking
And the
so.
thing is, all the drama happened during the shooting of Ikka.
Oh.
So this poor guy was coming into work while his dad was in the hospital, running to the hospital.
Oh, God.
And his dad at that time, I think, was in Breach Candy, which is pretty far from where we were shooting.
Okay.
So it was a real struggle for him to be able to do it, bring all of that emotion, live in his character while at the same time oldest son, father in hospital. In fact, his father passed away during the making of Ikka.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's devastating. And then, the professionalism is insane because they're still doing the job. They're showing up at work. There's no chutti. No chutti.
It was quite it's not a battle one put anybody into.
Yeah, yeah. Of course. Losing a parent.
And I don't think he wanted sympathy. So, and as it is, he hardly speaks. So, it's not like, my dad, nothing, none of that, So it must be quite, it was a hard place to be.
Yeah, I'm sure for anyone. For anyone. Althea, when you talk about this writing, and we were talking about this, that in the Middle East, it's such a nice thing that we get to be so close to our roots.
Yeah.
And we get so a lot of times where people say, oh, you're expats, you're not immigrants. I don't really feel bad about it because I've known so many people who've lived like decades here in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Not just UAE, but like Gulf overall, Saudi and Kuwait and all of that. And such a huge South Asian population. What's your take on that? Because a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you move to America? Why didn't you move to Canada? Why didn't you move though? I have different reasons. But
Okay, very simple. I have never had an affinity or even a fascination to anything that England onwards. I don't know, somehow the other felt, America in particular, I feel like for me personally, it was the lack of depth. I just felt there was no real depth.
and you've traveled across.
Traveled across. So I'm not really impressed or not really I wasn't like, wow. For me, if you told me to come to Eastern Europe, I'd be like, yeah. I like old stuff. I love stuff with history.
Europe even.
Yeah. There's something European. The roots are strong, old,
thousands of years
gnarled,
ago,
ugly. Yeah. 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 If you look at a black and white picture, you're looking at the black part.
Yeah.
It is the most striking part.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, that personally, and when you come to Dubai, I did for a South Asian, the adjustment is so quick. Because when you tell someone on the phone ki pudina chahiye, he knows. He knows. You don't have to start looking for, what's it called?
What do you call pudina?
Nothing. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah. Also, finding your own tribe is very much easier here.
It's very easy.
Very easy.
Very, very easy.
And I think that it's so fun that, and I always talk about this on this podcast, is that as Pakistanis, my dad went to India a lot because of Zamane mein. It was easier, 90s, mein, so much easier. My dad went multiple times, my khalas, my mom, because I have family in Allahabad. So they used to go to regularly, they used to go to India, shaadi ho rahi hai kisi ki, India mein there's a wedding, let's all go. So it used to be quite common, it stopped for a very long time. So for me, the exposure, the way that my parents had the exposure to India and Indians, and I heard stories about India and Delhi and Bombay, I've never experienced that. Moving to the Middle East is a different, now I have more stories about Delhi, India and Bombay than they do. Because now I meet more Indians.
I'll tell you the strangest thing. Completely diametrically opposite to your experience.
Yeah.
The first Pakistani I ever met was only when I came to Dubai.
Yeah, of course.
I've never even met one.
Yeah. For Indians, it's very different, and that's what I want to say, that it just changes your perspective of how you are. Although not too much for me because I've grown up watching Bollywood, but I don't think a lot of Indians now. It's different. Now they all know. There are memes on Instagram about day one of watching Pakistani dramas. कैसे हैं आप? Day 5 of watching Pakistani dramas, wearing a dupatta and walking with jhumkas and mehndi and whatnot. And the family's like, what happened to her? Like, now it's different. But I think there was a time in which there was not a lot of... Bollywood was always a part of Pakistan, but I don't think a lot of Pakistani culture was going there. Yeah.
And I was born during the Indo-Pak War. So you can imagine, I grew up in an era where it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like the war, because those days, of course, the way the GPSs was not that refined. So a lot of that was fly-by-wire over sight.
Yeah.
So I remember my dad telling me he had to paint our windows black because we're Bombay,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So anything coming in from Karachi is right next door, right?
Yeah.
So there was all of that drama,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But never even met one until I came here, and I was like, what just hits you in the solar plexus is the similarity.
the
You're like, dude, same. Same.
Same, yeah. Absolutely same. So many things.
I mean, really. I mean, I don't know what I'll do in my life without Shan Masala. Never had it there.
I never had it there. Ruafza's there though.
Yeah, but we make our own Hamdard.
Hamdard,
Yeah.
that's there as well.
But Shan,
Shan masala. Life changing.
how to survive without it?
How to survive without it.
Yeah.
Tell me about your kids. Growing up.
I am growing up with Angrez kids, unfortunately. So we are two people who speak this way.
Yeah.
This is a very, very typical Bombay accent, okay?
Okay.
My kids, on the other hand, are this hybrid. Don't know today, we are American, British, what we are, we don't know. So the accents are really strong.
But they were born in India, but they've grown up
they came here. They
when
came
they
here
were
when
very
they're
small.
4 and 8.
Oh, very small.
And they went to British schools. And so, you know, as most kids, what happens is you start imitating your teacher.
Yeah.
One year, I remember the whole class was Australian. The whole class. Didn't matter which country you came from.
You are
Australian now because you are now, you know, your teacher speaking, you're talking like her. It's just horrible. And then, I mean, as an Indian mom, it starts making you feel like, have you dropped the ball? Because Tarani, my older one, made a statement once and I was having mutton curry rice. And she was like, Mama, I really like the sauce. The sauce guy.
It's the sauce on the meat.
Yeah, sauce. And I mean, it's just the way they pronounce things. They're not just like, you know, at least my older one, I'll tell you one thing, honestly, because she spent 8 years in India. Actually, not 8 years, she was born and then we moved to Singapore. But at least 3-4 years she was there.
Okay.
So she understands Hindi a little bit and she likes watching Hindi content. Not a lot, but a little bit. The younger one, oh my God. Just, it's horrible. She loves, you know, she loves her Rajma Chawal.
I hope they're watching this right now.
The aloo paratha.
Aloo paratha. Oh my
One
God.
tight slap. Yeah. So it's a bit like,
But then when they look at the work you do they watch it?
no.
No.
Older one, not the younger one. Younger one wouldn't get it also.
Wouldn't get it. She doesn't speak Hindi?
No.
No.
That's because we dropped the ball big time. I'll tell you why we dropped the ball. I'm not a native Hindi speaker.
Yeah.
I'm South Indian.
Yeah.
My language of communication, unfortunately, because by being brought up in Bombay, I can read and write Hindi, I can read and write Marathi, which is my state language. I can speak it with grammatical errors because you'll know when I speak it, I'm not a native.
Yeah.
But I can speak it, I can understand it, I can read and write it. No problem. But my husband and me only converse in English.
Because he's Punjabi.
He's Punjabi, he speaks fluent in Hindi, but at home we only speak in English.
Because your language isn't
Yeah.
Hindi. Yeah.
I think in English.
You-
So as a result, the kids have been brought up, in spite of having bilingual parents. So we really did drop the ball on that.
But I don't think it's dropping the ball. It's just the way
No,
natural.
I'll tell you, I mean, people speak English badly, you know. I swear to God, my gut in my head is, wow, this person's bilingual.
Yeah.
Because if you speak English badly, that means you speak something else really fluently.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means you already have an edge over me. I don't see it as a negative. I don't see like, oh. For me, I'm like, oh, that's more than one language right there.
That's an asset.
It's a huge asset.
Yeah.
You speak more than one language, yeah? Which is more than you can say for me because my Hindi is bad. Like when I speak Hindi, you'll know it's not my mother tongue, but that also means I speak another language.
Yeah.
So there's got to be one language I speak fluently, right? So I'm bilingual. But English being my premium language. But when someone speaks English badly, I know they are bilingual or multilingual. You
So
know?
your kids don't speak any other language except English?
No.
No.
That's where we dropped
why
the
you
ball.
feel
Dropped the
that they should have been bilingual.
They should have been. If you hear Maya speak English, it's almost because she speaks to my house help, Divya. Auntie Divya is what they call her, but Auntie Divya has been with us now 13 years.
Yeah, wow.
So she's seen them since they were little. Okay, she only speaks Hindi, so they have and they have no choice but to communicate with her in Hindi. Tarani can do it. Maya, Auntie Divya, mujhko a coke give doongi. It's just horrible.
Maybe they can watch your stuff. They know the mommy has written it. No?
Okay, Maya is a gifted writer. When she was 5 years old, a friend asked her, you know how you ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Just Maya, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she said, a writer. And she said, oh, like mama. And she said, like, no, a real writer. An author.
But Mama is also a real writer.
Yeah, no, a real writer, an author.
Okay.
Yeah, so her watching my stuff is a bit like,
ये तो उर्दू में से ना घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. What is this? Like
you're any different in your house.
Yeah,
not
you
pretend?
treat it like
Can
a
you not
mommy.
pretend? Yeah, we are exactly the same.
Yeah, we're mommy.
Yeah.
You're just mommy.
Zero respect.
Zero respect. And imagine Althea and that incident you shared with me where Shah Rukh was on the plane.
Yeah. No, but I think one more very, very funny thing when something happened and Tarani was about, I think, 9 or 10 years old. And, you know, she had learned, they started using this word lame. Lame was being used to describe everything, right? And something happened with my friends and she said, oh God, my mother's so lame. And my friend turned and said, you know, your mother's someone you can Google.
Yeah.
Like, you know, calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and you know, it's like, वही बात है that as your children are growing older, and I think that also happens that with these kids, they've grown up with this life.
Yeah.
This beautiful Dubai life. They don't understand the
But I'll
struggles.
ask you one question. Do you feel it's a good thing or a bad thing? Because I think that we are who we are because of the struggles we've had.
Yeah, I think so too.
When you've not had the struggles,
That 2-hour traffic jam,
all of that,
Yeah.
the jugaad,
the jugaad, the
the
way to...
ability to have something broken and be able to fix it without having to pick up the phone and buy something new. And, you know, like fixing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we've all grown up with sharpening the other end of our pencils.
And the antenna,
Yeah.
you know, to get the right
Yeah.
reception for
Yeah.
the TV. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we didn't have that. We were the remote control. We had a TV with 3 things.
You know, because we didn't have the Indian channels so easily. There was a time when the channels were banned. So what we used to do is that there was a way to catch Doordarshan because I was in Karachi, so
correct.
the signals were easier.
Yeah.
So there was a way that if you twisted the thing in a way, you would get Doordarshan.
So we would get normal, but there was no remote control. So my sister and me were the remote control. So my dad would
Go
be
change
like,
the channel.
there was a knob, 1, 2, 3,
No,
4, like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
we had that TV also.
Yeah.
But like I'm just saying that I think that the struggle definitely traumatizes you in many ways, but it also sets you up to deal with a lot of
So I think
difficulties.
that we are stronger for it, you know.
For sure.
We
for
don't
sure.
break as easily as
Oh,
this generation.
100%.
The first obstacle they hit. And
It's a
And I
meltdown.
think it's worse for Dubai because they're so used to everything working. In Dubai, if you put your finger on a switch and you press it, something
It
will
will
happen
work.
from there.
It will
There
work.
will be a light or a fan or something's going to happen. You will never have the absolute agony of going on with the kya hai? You know, we've all had that. वापस गई क्या light?
इससे क्या होता है? What does this button do?
Geyser. They don't know.
Or somebody on the first floor has the
Yeah.
fan flickering because you're pressing.
They don't know that, yeah.
Yeah, they don't know that. They
They
don't
don't know how to climb trees.
No, no. What trees? No.
Getting fruit from a tree, that
No,
magic of
no.
sharing a mango. The crow's eaten one part, the other part you wiped on your pad and you've eaten.
Yeah.
And you've got no disease from it.
No, no, no.
Skinned knees.
Yeah.
None of
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I don't think so. Like, I think being an autism mom, I sometimes ask myself, how am I able to just carry on the next day? So, okay. Like, I've
Because
been.
you're not a Dubai kid.
I'm not a Dubai kid and I have not grown up with this
Yeah.
comfort of my.
And it is a lot of comfort.
It
Dubai
is a
gives
lot
you.
of comfort.
It really does envelop you and keeps you really like, okay, I'll give you a simple thing. The other day, a house down the road, there was chaos on my road. Chaos. Ambulance, fire engine,
Police.
civil defense, something,
Yeah.
something. 4, 5 with sirens. What has happened, I'll tell you. A woman has come back home with her 2 children, 3 and 4-year-olds, with her groceries. She has got them out of the car, got the groceries. She's gone into the house to put the groceries. These 2 idiots have gotten back in the car and they've locked themselves in. And now she can't get them out. Please understand, she's in her own driveway.
Yeah.
All she's done is call the police, and this is what has happened.
Yeah.
So this kind of safety,
Yeah.
that every department that you could possibly be called has come to get these 2, 3, and 4-year-olds who are not traumatized at all, by the way.
Sitting
They're
in the
having
car
too much
chilling.
of fun, sitting in the car and watching their mother in like having kittens outside. But can you imagine? That's all. One phone call.
I'll tell you the exact same thing happened. My son, he's 11, autistic, he's verbal, but is not functional
Yeah.
verbal, has disappeared.
What?
Yeah, he's disappeared.
Shara.
And he's walked out, and I've just gone, astaghfirullah, God forbid, if a woman or a mother decides to take a nap and an autism mom, forget it. So I've gone upstairs, said I haven't slept and I need to just take like 20 minutes. So I've gone up, and my husband is forgotten that the door isn't locked. So he's opened the door and quietly walked out.
Oh, God.
And then my husband calls me. He's like, is Sharam with you? Now you don't want to get this call.
No.
And I'm like, and now I'm wide awake. I'm like, what? No. Then I've rushed down, forgotten that I'm not wearing glasses, gone down. And in those 2-3 minutes that I've gone down, my heart has erupted out of my throat. And my husband is running on the street. I've called security. And the only thing, and living in Dubai, that's, I think, while we knock it for being too safe, I think it should be too safe for parents
Yeah.
like me, because I don't have that comfort of my child calling me, Mommy, I'm here. So he's now disappeared. He's nowhere. My husband is walking on the road, running around the roads. I've called security and I'm like, my child has disappeared. He's nonverbal. The only thing I'm scared of is that the houses opposite mine have swimming pools. So that's the only thing that's freaking me out. Otherwise, no,
Yeah.
nothing else. I'm like, if
Not
he's
scared of people, not scared of anything.
there's a security guard sitting outside. I know he's doing his job. I know if he sees a child unaccompanied, and my son likes to walk around like just wearing shorts. So he's like, if he sees like a half naked kid running around, he'll pick up what is happening. So I've called security and like they're like, yes, we're sending the team right now. Anyway, my child, by the way, just my mom decided what my mom said, that, you know what, he's just gone out. Check within the cars in near your neighbor's cars, and he was sitting inside my neighbor's car. The car was open and he was just sitting inside. And okay, the whole thing was that, okay, what if something bad happens? But that core belief was that there is a chance that nothing bad will happen because I'm in Dubai. And then, the security guard came later, like a minute later, he had just come. He's like, ma'am, is everything fine? Is this and that? And we had to send him back. He was refusing to leave. He's like, are you sure? Do you need anything?
Amazing, no?
Amazing. So I just feel like this just is the way the world should be.
Yeah, but it's not. So that was the big thing I had to teach Tarani when she went to university. Because my kids are girls and they're not scared of men.
Because they've
They
grown
are
up in
not
Dubai.
scared of men. Men do not scare them. So if a car stops and somebody rolls down a window and asks for directions, they will give sweetly. They're not frightened. Like the way we were. We all learned to walk with our bags in front of us.
Yeah, and then the moment something random stops by, you are
constantly on edge, aware of any movement, aware of footsteps,
a bird crossing.
aware of everything.
Yeah.
It's something men will never know.
No.
Constant sense of awareness.
No.
My kids don't know, so they're like me.
So when they go to India, do they go to India often?
Yeah, but inevitably it'll be with me, my friends, whatever. It's kind of safe.
So they don't know.
No.
They don't, like they've never maybe walked around alone in India at night. Okay.
No chance.
No, so that's why they will never know.
Yeah.
So, but when now they're studying alone in the UK.
Yeah, but so Tarani's had to wisen up. And I think in terms of street smartness, she would have more than Maya.
But it was a good decision then in that case to send them abroad to study and live on their own.
It was a good decision, yeah. But which is why I said also America was never on my card. Too far. Can't
too
come
far.
home fast enough. And again, I just felt that, for a few years now, there's been certain sense of that, the legality of guns I have an issue with. So
I don't understand it.
so
I don't understand it.
I cannot get it. I mean, I would not. How are you trusting a 14-year-old with a gun? I mean, I don't get it.
Have you just seen the recent event that happened? There was a person, I don't know if it was a guy or a woman, I don't know. They were clearly mentally not okay, and they were able to shoot like a bunch of people, like 10, 15 people. I
don't understand why how can you get a gun so easily?
It's so easy. It's made fun of in so many
in
sitcoms.
India, we're sitting and making guns. One bullet type guns, because you really can't buy a gun. You really can't.
In Pakistan also, it's only certain areas where gun culture is so prominent, and even that is like frowned upon, and people are like, what is happening, and this shouldn't happen. But I mean, the kind of, it's like,
I mean, you can't walk around legitimately in Karachi with a gun, right?
no, not at all. Unless you're a security
Cop,
guard,
yeah.
that's different, or a cop. But then, like in I was watching, I don't know what show, some sitcom or something, and the person has just walked into a gun store like a candy shop.
Yes.
Like, oh, this caliber,
Yeah.
that caliber, this barrack, that,
Yeah.
and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? And they'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
They'll just give it to you.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
So for me, I just find that because all you need is for somebody, some child who's having a bad time, struggling with emotions, wants just some kind of like madness to happen, happens to live in a house with guns,
Yeah.
who knows how to get them.
Yeah, or not even living in a house, just go out, get it, and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it either.
So for me, that became like I was just not that keen. And you know, the thing is, when you're in America, opportunities, everything is going faster. You can become big. And in my head, no, I'm just saying we have one life here.
Yeah.
We have only one life. Like I told you on the road today, better
Yeah.
to be late than the late.
Yeah, please tell that story. So I drive a very
a
huge
maniac,
car.
yeah.
Not a maniac. I drive
Like a maniac.
No, not a maniac. I drive a huge car.
The whole road belongs to me. Tell the truth, no marriage.
I drive a huge car.
Yeah.
And Althea does not like.
I'm not good in cars. I don't like that. And this constant need to change lanes constantly. I mean, choose your lane. Yeah, we're going in one direction, right? Yahi road hai. Choose your lane and wahi pe rehna. What's
And
the
I
problem?
also want to say that I was a bit late today because Althea ki wajah se I had to drive a lot more slower than I usually drive.
Acha, because your makeup was not the delay.
No, I would have made good time. I had to drive slow because of you.
Acha, chalo, theek hai. So all I said was in India, in any of the mountain areas, our road traffic guys, okay, were very creative, very, very creative. So if there's a hill or a mountain, you will see a road sign that says, better to be late than the late.
The late. I love it. It's
Better
so
be
good.
late than the
It
late.
is so good. Like and in Pakistan, it's like it's something like it's okay to be a little late, or it's okay to have it to go slow than to never arrive.
Ah.
Something like that
Something-
is there.
same.
Yeah. I think it's very good. It's very important. But though again, in Karachi, you cannot go at 140, 150.
No,
you
there's
can-
nothing. You don't really die in the RCT office.
No, not even
You
in
get
Karachi.
tucker out. They're
You
like,
tucker
oh,
out, and you may die by somebody's road rage, by somebody banging into your car and somebody killing you.
that way.
That might happen,
that way.
but the other thing will not happen. You will not die in an accident.
No.
No, in highways, yes, maybe.
So for me, yeah, exactly.
In highways, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure India has a lot of those other highways also. The intracity.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have traffic there. Traffic everywhere.
So you are from the south,
I'm from Bombay,
Bombay.
but roots are South Indian,
Roots are south.
but never lived there.
How different is north and south? Okay, that answers the question. Poles apart.
Diametric.
Diametrically, yeah. Language-wise, culture-wise, everything.
Everything.
Because we
are closer to Pakistan than we are to the South in the way we think. It's like if you said, what's the similarity between the Sri Lankans and the Punjabis? That's the difference between the South and the North.
Yeah.
The food, culture, language, dress, everything.
Everything is similar
Everything.
to the us.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the bottom of India, it's completely.
And there's so many Indians in the UAE. That's what I was saying, that I've experienced. All my closest friends here are Indian. Isn't it weird?
Strange, no?
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, I had my next door neighbor, Iram, and Javed. Their daughter is getting married. I was going to be in Bangalore, so I was not going to be here. So I had a present which I took across to them. Now, please understand, this is a Pakistani family, Shadi ka ghar.
Yeah.
She is sister number 2 of 2 sisters and 2 brothers. The whole family has descended. Okay. I have gone there I've stood at the door. I don't want to come in. So I said, no, just going to give the present because the girl Halima wasn't home. I just want to give the present because I was leaving for. No, you have to come in. I have sat there for 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, I have dabawed so much of khana because it just kept coming.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing was, be like, oh, this is from Delhi. Oh, I'm like, dude, I'm not from Delhi.
But I was telling, who was I telling? I was telling Mazhar that our friend Mazhar Farooqi, who's a Khaleej Times journalist as well, that we have a Delhi Pakwan in Karachi. We have a Hyderabadi. Anyway, we have Hyderabad in Karachi, in Sindh also. But when we say Hyderabadi food, we mean the India wala Hyderabadi. The Hyderabadi biryani, kache gosht ki biryani, kache keeme ke kebab. All of that is Hyderabad. Talawa gosht. All of these kati dal.
Hilal's choran chutney.
Churan chutney.
I cannot tell you. It's like a
Can
standard
please they sponsor
order.
this podcast?
It's a standard order. I don't travel out of my house without it. Anywhere in the world I go, I have Hilal's choran
chutney.
If you take my phone and open Amazon, it'll be your first thing. It'll be buy again. Yes, please.
Churan chutney is
Addicted.
amazing. It is the best.
But they've dropped the choran quantity in
Yes,
it. Yeah.
they have. They have. They have.
They should-
And that zing that churan used to give na, it doesn't do that. It's too
in
sweet
fact,
now.
I gave it to a friend of mine in Kerala.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to try this. And he tried it. And I was like, he was like, but it was not enough choran. I said, you're right, because the one I had earlier to what they're manufacturing now.
And I used to eat it when I was a kid. So the kid one was like literally eating churan. You're eating churan. And churan was a contraband item for kids. Because it's like, it messes up your digestion.
Yeah.
So we used to, when we used to, and I don't know, I'm sure it was the same in India. Like, you go to the dukaan, cheese ki dukaan, the cheese, you get the cheese, okay? So now you have 5 rupees, you bought something and you got something for 2 rupees, now you have 3 rupees left. Now what do? The dukandar will give you all kinds of toffee and cake and God knows what all. So we used to get like an assortment of candies, and I used to get churan chutney because like churan chutney is zyada dena. And then I used to hide, like, no, look, I got Fenty also.
If anybody from Hilal is
Please.
or if anybody from Hilal knows somebody from the Hilal family,
I think Hilals are from Karachi.
Please.
Is anyone watching? I will tag Hilal.
Please tag them, because I'm an addict and I have shared your sweet with so many people.
Give her shares.
I just want you to increase the choran.
Yeah, please. Little bit.
It is the best sweet in the world.
What's your favorite Pakistani food though?
Mine is this. What am I doing?
Halim. Mutton halim. Beef, mutton, chicken. Mutton, chicken. From anywhere particular here, or just you make it at home?
For me, it doesn't. I don't think you can go wrong with Pakistani food. I just don't think you can go wrong. But I'll tell you one very cool thing. Okay. Let's say I'm making mutton curry.
Okay.
Now I want to make Pakistani mutton curry. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me it's Pakistani. I'm making it. And you will get all these Shehzad cooks, Farah cooks. So these home cooks, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to compare this with an Indian recipe.
Okay.
So let's say an Indian recipe, like Rahul cooks.
Okay.
So Rahul will be fine. Take your kadai and put a tablespoon of oil and heat it. And when it's smoking hot, throw in this thing. Okay. Now you get Shehzad to do it. Shehzad's doing. 1 cup tel dal de. What? What? 1 cup tel dal de. I'm like, dude, there's no Pakistani recipe that doesn't start with put a cup of oil.
That's the secret.
That is the secret. Ours is a couple of tablespoons.
No. It's
Put a splash.
No, what splash?
Wahan pe to start with a cup of oil.
Cup of oil, half cup oil, 1 cup oil. No problem. I modify my recipe.
I saw one recipe which is superb, okay? And it was 1 cup oil. But he was doing the brista. I said, okay, makes sense. You need that for the brista, right? Then he takes the brista and now you can add this. I was in the same. That oil is not going anywhere, dude. Another thing y'all have, which we don't have, which I really like, is your chilies.
What do you mean? I'm sure India has.
No, your chilies are not that spicy. There's one that you put in the end, they're long. I don't know what, they're not that spicy.
Green or red?
Green color.
They're slightly sweet.
Wo wali.
Badi wali mirch. That you get in Pakistan store only. Even I don't buy it from the other supermarkets. I buy it from that Pakistan supermarket. It's because of this.
You had introduced me to Moon. What is it called?
Moon, Pakistan Moon supermarket.
For my choran chutney, right?
For choran chutney.
But then now Amazon. So I'm wondering, Hilal, are you legitimately selling on Amazon or some fake thing that I'm getting? Because I swear the choran quantity.
But if you buy it from the Pakistan supermarket, that's legit. I don't know about Amazon. I'm sure.
I've been buying from Amazon now. I'm just hoping it's the same
Compare.
thing. Yeah.
From the Moon
Maybe I'll call
supermarket,
Moon
maybe,
and get,
yeah. And maybe I have some at home. I don't know. I'll check. But also, like, I think for me, my favorite Indian food has to be dosa. Also, I've grown up eating dosa. Yeah,
How?
yeah. I've told the story in the previous episode as well that we in Karachi there used to be a restaurant called Ponderosa, which was a very highfalutin South Indian restaurant. So we had the thalis and all of.
Highfalutin South Indian. See, these words only don't go together.
But it was because it wasn't just South Indian, it was like Portuguese, and it had like weird kind of dishes which we used to love. Anyway, it closed down, but outside this very highfalutin restaurant was an auntie. Now this auntie, you know the Suzuki pickup.
Ah.
So in the Suzuki pickup, the back is like covered with a kapda. I don't know if third culture kids know this, but the back was basically covered with a kapda or a tin, which you could close with a door and anything, something like that, which would cover the back of the car. This woman had made a makeshift kitchen in the back of the Suzuki pickup truck. It was literally called Auntie Ka Dosa. No signboard, nothing. The entire Karachi knew that the best, crispiest dosas with that sambar and that chutney, the amazing coconut chutney. Oh my God, it is like delectable. So, and she also sold this like chatpata sort of chutney with the dosa.
It's called we call it gunpowder.
Okay.
But you basically take that podi.
Okay.
The word is podi.
Okay.
You can get it at Lulu, by the way.
Okay.
You take the podi, you put it there, and you make put a tablespoon of hot, make a hole, make a little mountain of your podi, stick a hole in it,
Okay.
and put a hot tablespoon of ghee in it.
Okay.
Then mix them and have it.
Ooh, I'll do that. So with that dosa, she used to sell these two chutneys, and it used to have like, it was basically a masala vegetable dosa with aloo and matar and all of that. And so it used to be like a thing, like people used to want to go to Ponderosa, and I'd be looking outside at the Suzuki pickle. Like, "Mujhe wo khana hai." And we used to like, and sometimes I even remember that humne Ponderosa pe we had the whole dinner, and now we're like, could we also get this on? So, she used to have lines.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Lines.
We have idli and dosa guys who come on cycles.
Oh.
And if you stand there and he'll just
Make a fresh one.
And he's made at home, and that's at his cup. No, not dosas, idli.
Idlis,
Hot, steaming hot idli.
No. So this is the crispy dosa that she used, and it used to be like that styrofoam paper.
Yeah.
And उसमें वो अगर आपको वही खानी है तो वो that char chutney. Otherwise, she would just wrap it in aluminum foil and give it to you, and it was like the best thing ever. Now it's still available. You can still have you have like this vegetarian, and I think it's called some Rajasthan Delights or Rajasthani Delights in Karachi or someplace.
How can Rajasthani Delights have dosa, man?
I don't know, but it has a vegetarian cuisine maybe. Because, in our head, it's like Indian means like dosa also. So it has a lot of other stuff. So it's a pure vegetarian restaurant. And my husband, who's strictly non-vegetarian, once somebody had said, let's go there and have food. And my husband was like, nope. I'm not, take me anywhere but there I will not, because it didn't serve any meat.
Yeah.
But Indian food in Pakistan, in Karachi, is very common. It's not that common, I think.
Another thing I love from your side of the world is bun kebab.
Bun
God.
kebab. I will share a recipe with you from
yeah.
Food Fusion.
Please.
It's the exact bun kebab as you get on the streets
with
of
the
Karachi.
Chutneys?
With the chutneys. Exact. And Global Village, have you gone to the Pakistan Pavilion and had those bun kebabs?
No.
Go. What are you doing?
Really?
Arey? Have the authentic samosa chaat, because in Punjab, it doesn't happen in Karachi. They break the samosa, put the chana on top and the chutneys on top. It's an actual chaat. Now I want to go to Global Village today.
This is just horrible.
This is horrible.
I want bun kebab.
And I want just samosa chutney now, samosa chaat now. Oh my God. Anyway, so from India, I also love the variations of the biryani. The Hyderabadi biryani.
Yeah, we have from all over.
Oh my God.
Mughlai.
Like the gazebo biryani here.
Yeah.
And that's also like, I love the food variations. That's also something a lot of people don't understand and don't know about Dubai.
In India, your cuisine changes every 200 kilometers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Language changes.
I can imagine.
Cuisine changes.
I can imagine.
So, you have a lot, which is why the whole magic and the romance of Indian Railways was this. Every station your father would get out to buy the local specialty. His wife and children would be sitting at the window wondering if he got back in. Because he is standing out there acting like a hero. The train has started moving. Wife and come. And he and like too cool for school, right? but has to get out at every platform.
Yeah.
Because every time the train stops, there's new food available.
Okay, so it wasn't like that in Pakistan, as in there's not new food. It's pretty much the similarity
Yeah.
is there, but adventure is there.
Yeah.
So when we used to travel from Karachi to Lahore, my dad used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Get out at every stop.
Why?
I don't know. And every time it was like, Abba, train chal gayi hai.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, and I think they felt like heroes because they'll come back on like
Yeah.
they made it and all
They-
that.
they've made
and
it.
you know, unless you all were like fools crying.
Yeah. And then we're jumping into that almost
Yeah.
going train. You used to get fined for it, but my dad was a journalist, so he used to get out of those fines.
Standing at the door, open door.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Closest that they came to Superman, I guess.
Yeah, but then I wish that we would also. I have a nostalgia with associated with trains.
Yeah,
I do.
love trains.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
see, my dad was at the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So when we traveled by train, we traveled in coupes.
Yeah, Cooper,
Right.
same. Yeah.
I have gone with my mother to Bangalore when we have to drop my mother. And we have researched the train we want. The train has been on the tracks for a year. Brand new. It's very fast. It starts in Bombay and it's next stop Bangalore. It goes to the night. It does the journey in some 14 hours or some nonsense.
Yeah.
She has come back with another train. She's bought the tickets with another train. And we're going with my kids and my sister's kids and all. So I said, what is this train? I've Googled it. It has this train, I can't remember the name of it. I really can't. Maybe I wiped it out of my brain. It has got the reputation of, the honor of, at that point, being the award winner 3 years in a row
Okay.
for the worst train on the Indian Railways.
That is not how I was expecting the sentence to end.
consecutive years, it has won the worst train on the Indian Railways. Now, Indian Railways is not one company. It's Western Railway,
Oh.
Southern Railway.
Okay.
We have a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
railways
Oh,
under the whole umbrella.
this is the
This
worst.
is the worst train. It has taken us 36 hours to get to Bangalore. It has stopped everywhere. When it has not stopped, feel free to walk alongside the train because that is the stop speed. I'm telling you, my mother sat in the train and does what she does every time which is running match. She'll open one theli. In that theli, there'll be Mosambi. And she will sit there peeling a Mosambi. And then she will offer it. I want to take a Mosambi and throw it at her head because I have no place to see because we are in no sign of a coupe. Why are we in this train?
Okay.
When I asked, I said, Mama, we gave you the entire details. This is the train, this is the date, just go and buy the ticket. Why have we come back with this, some express, not express, I don't know what it's called, I'll get the name of it, okay? And she said, no, because, I was telling that fellow at the counter that my grandchildren have never traveled on the Indian Railways their first time. And then he said, but then auntie, this is the wrong train because this train stops nowhere. It goes Bombay, next stop Bangalore. If you want to stop and must take this train.
Which stops everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Like you literally are picking up no speed. No speed.
36 hours.
36
And what
of
would
hell.
have.
Hell.
What would ordinarily take 14 hours?
No, ordinarily it may take around 20. The one that we chose was 14. We just go zipping through. All through the night just going.
Oh my God. And
And
then
1-year-old train, that was the one that we had chosen. 1-year-old, which means that's spanking new.
he is spanking
We
you.
were on the monstrosity of the Indian Railways.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bad that I've actually, when I've gotten off, I've Googled what is the berth width because it's unbelievable. 21 inches.
Okay. Which means what?
Not even 2 feet, babe. Okay, and now there's this three level one. I'm at the bottom one with Maya.
And how
My
old is
mother-
she?
Maya's what 6 or 7 or something.
Okay.
My mother's opposite. That's her berth. My sister and her kids, her kids and my Tarani have all climbed to their berths to sleep. I'm down with Maya. Maya, we got a window thing and we got a pillow and she's reading a book. I have got Tarani's bed sitting on top of my neck. This way, वो मौसम भी दे रहे Horrible.
But memorable.
Yeah.
Memorable. For sure. For sure. Althea, what would you say to people who would want to come to Dubai? What should they come for sure? But then what should they keep in mind?
Okay. Dubai can make you want very, very fast.
Yeah.
You'll want a lot of things that you would normally not want.
Because they're not available.
Yeah. Suddenly it'll be want.
Yeah.
If you can control that, you're in a damn good space. Because if you work hard, you'll make your money will be well spent. You can keep it safe. You can make this work for you. But if you come in here and want, because everything is easy to buy, the never
Accessible.
system, everything can go into installments. Banks will be clamoring to give you credit card after credit card.
Yeah.
It's easy to get into that trap. So if you're coming here as a tourist, please buy. But if you're coming here to live, there's a reason you're leaving home. You're coming for either a better life, more money, so you're sending money back home, safety, security, cosmopolitan culture. You're coming for a lot of things. Right?
Yeah.
Don't let it break your back. Because Dubai, very easy to do that.
And don't get caught up in the glamour of it. There are very real people out here
Very
making very real stories. And I
Yeah.
think one of the reasons why I did this, I started this was also Althea, was because stories like South Asian stories especially
Yeah.
are so powerful. And they're such important reminders for a lot, because a lot of South Asians do want to come here. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of perspective that we can add to their planning, maybe even.
The adjustment will be easy because you
Yeah.
will hit the ground running. You won't have to miss a day of your own khana.
Yeah.
You will be able to find the khana you want easily.
Yeah.
You will find the language you speak naturally very
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter which part of India you're from. You're going to find the South Indian languages,
Yeah.
the North Indian languages,
Yes.
the East Indian language. You're going to find all these languages easily.
yeah.
You're going to have, because most of people you meet are all expats. They recognize your need for support. You can stop and ask for help and somebody will help you. So
Yes.
it's very warm, very welcoming. This is from the people. From the government point of view, they will put you in a bubble very quickly. You'll suddenly feel invincible on some level. Everything, like I'm saying, everything works. Everything's great.
Yeah.
And so it does take the edge off you. That it takes the edge
But
off
then that's different. Like, I think that if you're coming from hardship or from a country where these things don't work and you come and you see everything working, that's different. Say something about parenting, because like you said, I think that's a very important point you raised, that because Dubai kids, and we are now at that place where Dubai is now an older city.
Yeah.
It wasn't that old when we
Yeah.
moved in, with things were still
Yeah.
new. Now a lot of people are coming in. It's become a mature city, and now you have that second generation of kids
Yeah.
raising. What would you say to the kids and to the parents?
I think as desis, I would say that don't do what I did. Don't drop the ball on your actual roots. Like, just find a way to really, really make sure they have it. They don't have to be proficient in it, but make sure they have it. Secondly, I don't think you can do anything about the jugaad because it's not possible to teach them jugaad
not
when they're
yet.
not exposed to things that break, things that don't work. They're not exposed to that, so teaching them jugaad won't help. But I think what as parents you're going to love the safety you feel here.
For women.
You're going to love that safety, that confidence of your child going out and you not having to worry about. You can just say, I can call a cab for her or him, or he'll call a cab for himself, and you don't worry about it at all. You don't feel the need to be on the phone with them the entire car ride.
Oh
none of
my
that.
God.
That I think is a invincible kind of superpower. The safety that as a parent you feel you're not worried about your child's safety.
Yeah. Also, like, I think the way that I feel as a woman in Dubai is how probably men feel all over the world. I don't care if I'm going out at 5 a.m. I'm driving the car. I'm taking
Not
the
at all.
kids. I can come home from the hospital at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. I can drive to the airport alone. I've gone
No
to the
issues.
airport alone. No issues at all. There is,
I've come home from a club at 3 o'clock in the morning
Same,
alone.
yeah,
Because
same.
I'm the kind of person that when I've had enough, I want to leave.
yeah.
So the whole thing of the whole Desi problem is you can't actually leave. No? Because the moment you say you want to go, wait, one more drink. Okay, I'll drop you. I'm just finishing my drinks. 2 minutes and one more thing. So you just land up. Now you want to go and you just like, everybody just like, come on. So I ghost. I will tell one person because someone needs to know I've left. and I'm out the door. I won't go around saying bye at a club, not at someone's house. But I understand one thing. I've been drinking. I've come out of the club at 2:00 in the morning. I've flagged down a cab, not called from an app. Flagged down a cab, so nobody has the cab guy's number. And I've gotten into the cab and I've come home without me even having to worry ever.
Yeah, I think that's one of the wonderful things about Dubai, that it allows so many cultures to exist. It's a country which is, Muslim. It is a country which is cosmopolitan, multicultural, has people from all over
And
the
so
world.
welcoming, not tolerant.
Welcoming.
Welcoming.
And it is, for me, the biggest thing, Althea, the biggest thing is that, the people here are called persons of determination,
Yes.
not disabilities.
Yeah.
So it is an immediate sign of respect
Yeah.
and tolerance and inclusion. Like you said, not tolerance, inclusion.
Inclusion. More than that, welcoming.
Welcoming. And there's a charter because 2015 was the year of inclusion under Sheikh Mohammed's vision. It is a charter that you cannot discriminate any person on the basis of their disability. You cannot discriminate. You do not. If you do that, you can complain directly, and there will be action taken.
Amazing.
So I am, as an autism parent, I think there is no place in the world better.
And your access to healthcare.
Access to
Without
healthcare.
having to wait in queues or wonder when you'll get an appointment.
No, I remember I was at a hospital once and I was with my kids, and one of the Emirati, people were there, and they were there to make sure everything is fine. And one guy came to me. He said, "Why are you waiting?" I said, "This is my token number." I took a token number. He said, "That's a counter. That's a priority counter. Next time you're here, you go straight to that counter. I don't have to wait in the queue. I don't have to wait in the queue anywhere, by the way. You go to Global Village, there's a specialized queue for you. You go to the airport, there's a specialized queue. You go to the hospital, they have a specialized counter. I think something like this, and I used to cry at Karachi airport. And I've said this so many times to all the people in the corridors of power, that you cannot do this to people who are special needs or traveling with such, things. So thank you, Althea, for the wonderful conversation.
As fun as ever.
As fun as we have to do this again, because I just think that Althea is one of those people. I will call her after 6 months.
Yeah.
I will call her after 3 months.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
we've not gone talking for more than 3 months, I think, we never even talked about your Bollywood thing. But next time, maybe inshallah. She's one of my absolute favorite people in Dubai. Don't forget to follow and share her content that she's making now, and then she'll keep making in the future. True Bollywood essence, what Pakistanis love. I think that is the best part about what she's making. Thank you so much once again for your
Thanks,
time.
Mehwish. Lovely.
Lovely as always. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. अपने जान हाथ माल से किसी को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाइएगा. खुदा हाफिज.